Hi, my friend. This is a game that I played while ago against Grandmaster Florian Handke, and I won the game by tricking him at the end game. This is a position that is the row according to engine, and I managed to win this position with white pieces. And I will show you how I tricked him. And because we are human, we always live with tricks, right? So, and this grandmaster is a good grandmaster. It's 2500 plus rhythm FIDE, and it's a rare occasion that I win against a GM. Even in a blitz game, sometimes I win, but it's very rare. So let's go to a start of the position, a start of the game to see where and how we reach that position. It's a Scandinavian, and I don't like a Scandinavian. And I play a sick game against a Scandinavian. I go for Tennessee Gambit. I think except Tennessee himself and me, no one else plays this useless Gambit. So it's useless just avoiding theory of a Scandi. Otherwise, it doesn't. It's like just 960, more or less. Doesn't have any good structure. So I win the e-pawn back. Notice that here a3 is not Tory. I just didn't want to fall into any trap in a blitz game. For example, knight hopping on b4 and making noises there. So I stopped and I said that I will grab the e-pawn whenever I want. I don't need to hurry. And finally I grab the pawn, exchange pair of knight, and opponent strangely offered me to exchange another pair of knight. I didn't accept because I wanted to push my bishop out. I pulled my bishop out. I pushed to the queen c3 by playing c3 to defend my b pawn also and kicking the queen away. So my bishop can get out. Here my knight was pinned, so I said that let's get rid of the pin with check. And at this position, I'm attacking two pawns. Can you see? C pawn and H pawn. And my opponent attacks my queen, of course. Says that I don't want to give up. You can win the C pawn, but I win the queen. Or if you win the H pawn, I win the queen. So I don't want to lose the queen and save it. Attacks to my bishop. I offer, I repeat the move and to see what he's doing. And he said that, okay, it's enough. I don't want to give you C pawn. I don't want to draw. Yes, he's 300, 400 more rated than me. At this position, I could have taken the H6 pawn. And I was a bit afraid. I was a bit afraid of taking the pawn and him playing something like that. It's not dangerous. I mean, I could have just gone back, but it was a blitz game, and I was afraid of consequences. As you can see, it's not also that easy. You see, attacks to my d pawn, and it's not easy to save everything. So, and it was a blitz game. I didn't saw too much. I thought that it could be dangerous for me as well. At the end, I may end up losing the bishop. So I didn't go for that. Let's go back to the normal game. And I pushed back my bishop, and then I immediately accepted this offer of my opponent exchanging queens and bishops, because I was able to make double pawn without having any pressure in my position. Now when my plan was clear, I wanted to go to endgame, exchanging everything and reaching the position that you have seen. I have a very healthy pawn structure. It's enough to put my opponent into pressure by tricking them, especially when we are in a time pressure. Now what happened is that we are reaching to the tricky position that I discussed. Take stays, I take. Okay, here as a this is dead arrow. This is dead arrow. What would you do at this position as white? You are human. You are not engine. Your opponent is also not engine. They they may make mistakes. Of course, we have some majority in the king side pawn, right? We have two pawns, but our opponent has double pawns. But in the queen side, everything is equal. Create imbalance in the queen side. Yes, play b4. And Ask a question, especially when your opponent has a no, is low on time. Ask a question, what do you want to do? First move, it was not difficult for him. So I said, okay, let's exchange pawns. But and if I was exchanging, I was basically losing. Okay, but not necessarily. But it was very bad position for white. But of course, I didn't exchange that pawn. And here, he saw that okay, he found uh, the row, pushing the pawn, and yes, and it seems that after exchanging pawns, everything is zero, right? But it isn't. It isn't zero. Because after I take the pawn, let me take you to the analysis mode. Here you understand how important was b4 move. After I take the pawn, my opponent cannot grab the pawn because my king comes in. Engine also suggests that engine basically says that whatever I play is win. That's true because after takes my king comes in. The main move is that king comes in, and black is down. Black is down development of king here, and king can go to the white king can go to the left or right, whatever. It depends on the movement of black king. So this is the main reason that my opponent didn't take the pawn, instead takes the b4 pawn. I take back, still the situation is the same. He cannot just ignore the g pawn. G pawn is a passed pawn. He should do something in regard to that pawn. And he just cannot take it. Whenever he takes, my king comes in. So he pushes towards the king side and tries to get advantage that side, but that doesn't help because now I have two passed pawns. If he takes one of them, I don't even need to move the king. I just push the pawns. One of them is queen. He cannot take one and then go after another. So after all, I went towards his pawn and won that pawn and make queen by my own, and he finally resigned the game. Yes, that was my story of winning against the GM. Let me know about your story in the comments. See you next time. Bye.